And we welcome you here to episode 6 of the Ty Walker Show. As I'm Ty Walker, I'm here with my co host, TREV Productions. And man, it is the day after the NFL draft. We have a lot to talk about today as we will review the first round and talk about what we thought was the most predictable picks in the first round, what was the surprises of the first round, and what were some players that fell down the first round. We'll also talk about some people that fell throughout the draft, throughout the whole draft, and then obviously we both like different teams. I'm a Chiefs fan. He's a Jags fan. We'll be talking about all of our picks in depth in this episode today. But today we'll start off with our round one review as well. There was some stuff that we were able to predict. There was some stuff that we weren't able to predict. But I mean, there was some stuff we could predict. I think the top three picks were maybe top four were the most predictable out of all of them. And then after that, it was like I don't know what's gonna happen. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well, there was some surprise trades. Just to point out, this draft this year had the most trades of all time in draft history with 40 plus trades in all. And one of them was in the top five as Houston, Texas traded with Arizona to get the third pick, which that means they got picks 2 and 3. And just to look at the top five here, Bryce Young went number one overall. I think we all expected it. It's just
Yeah.
the Panthers. The Panthers were told to juice out the clock just to build some suspense, even though we all knew they're going to select Bryce Young. I think most of us thought they're going to select C.J. Stroud, Houston, even though there was those talks that Houston was not going to take a quarterback. I think all the smart people knew that they were going to take C.J. Stroud, just knowing that I doubt they would have rolled into a season with Davis Mills as their quarterback. At 3, I don't think anybody expected Houston to trade up to 3, but the guy at 3 was the most expected pick at 3, Will Anderson Jr. We just didn't think Houston was going to trade up to get it. Anthony Richardson was predictable at 4, even though we could have also saw Will Levis. And then Seattle getting Devon Witherspoon. I mean, it makes sense. They needed help on their defense. What do you think about that top 5?
I think most of it was expected, except for the Houston trade up and Devin Witherspoon to the Seahawks. But I mean, just without the teams getting the players, just without the teams, that could maybe like a draft that people probably could have predicted without the trades. Like,
Well, we got the top 5, but I want to talk about the most surprising picks now here. I think the most surprising picks, I think at 8, because there was a couple of WTFs I put on my draft board at the first round. I think the first one was at number 8, Atlanta. I don't know what Atlanta was thinking selecting Bijan Robinson. I mean, you look at their roster. They have Cordero Patterson. They drafted a 1,000-yard back last year in Tyler Algier, but yet they drafted Bijan Robinson. What do you think about that?
it could happen. I thought the Seahawks were gonna get Jalen Carter though, but it could have definitely. I could have actually saw it happening, but I just didn't think he was going that early. If he would go that early in the draft, I thought he would have gone to the Eagles, but I never would have guessed he went to the Falcons.
Well, the next one, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I'm just pointing out this guy was definitely not the top offensive tackle on my board. Was when Chicago, I mean, they did trade down. They traded with the Eagles, so they trade down to 10, selected an offensive tackle. I think we all expected that. I think we all expected it to be Peter Skronsky, but no, they went Darnell Wright. I think most draft boards I saw thought that he was going to be there at 31, the Chiefs could grab him. But no, top 10 pick Darnell Wright. I mean, surprisingly, it's surprising, but I get it. What do you think about it?
Uh, I thought it was gonna be Peter Squancy. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I don't know what in the right mind they were thinking of drafting Darnell Wright, but ugh, uh, Yeah, I mean, I thought it was gonna be Peter Scolari. I think everyone thought it was gonna be Peter Scolari.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah, my next WTF pick was at 12. Detroit traded down to pick 12. Arizona moved up to Detroit's pick at 6. After Arizona, they made that trade with Houston. They would have moved down to 12. Then they ended up moving up to 6. So Detroit went down to 12, and they took one of the most surprising picks in this draft. Even though, but Detroit's not even. This is not the first time they're going to be on this list. They're going to be on this list again. But one of the most surprising picks out of the Wazoo picks at 12, Jamar Gibbs, another running back out of Alabama. I think a lot of people are sitting there laughing at Detroit when they took Jamar Gibbs at 12. I was looking at some insight from Lions fans, and I don't get it. Lions fans love this pick. All of us, everyone else, don't know why. This guy could have been their second round. He was projected to go late first, early to mid second, not a number 12 pick in the draft. What do you think about this?
I thought it was gonna be Christian Gonzalez. There, I don't
I
know
thought it was
why
going
they
to be
went with
Nolan.
Jamal Gibbs. They could have traded back into the first round with like Philadelphia and gotten
Yeah,
like with like the Saints or the Bengals and gotten
yeah, Jamar.
Jamal Gibbs. Like I don't know what they
And
were doing.
they could have gotten also a ton more picks if they would have done that, and still could have gotten Jamar Gibbs.
I know. Like I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing there. I don't know why the Lions like this pick. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is good. I don't see him as a top 15 talent though. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think Jamar Gibbs is a good running back. He was the fastest running back in this draft, but don't get me wrong, I don't think he's a top 15 pick. I think he's a late 20s to 30s, maybe 40s pick. Well, the next WTF came from the Jets, and the Jets always like the Jets. I think a lot of us expected they were going to get some help for Aaron Rodgers. Their offensive line is pretty terrible. They did get this pick from Green Bay, but what did they go with? Will McDonald IV, edge rusher, Iowa State. Now, he does have first-round talent, but at 15, I don't agree with it. This guy was a late first-round projection, just early second-round projection, but they took him top 15. Now, don't get me wrong, this guy's good. He jumped over a whole entire car. So, I mean, he does have some talent. He is athletic. He is old. I believe he's 26. But I don't think he's a top 15 guy. What do you think about it?
Definitely not. I think what the only good thing about that pick was that kid announcing it. But other than that, I think they wanted either Donnell Wright or Peter Scolari or Paris Johnson. I think they wanted either one of them, but I think none of them, of course, fell to them. So I think they just took Will McDonald.
Don't get me wrong, though. I don't think anybody would have been mad if they would have taken Anton Harrison, though. I think that would have been a smarter pick, though.
It would have been a smarter pick, definitely.
And if they did want to go edge, why didn't they go Nolan Smith? He was still on the board. He was supposed to be a top 10 pick, and he fell down this all the way to 30.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
Next WTF picks. This guy was a second-round projection to Washington Commanders. Manuel Forbes, corner, Mississippi State. Don't know what Washington was thinking. He wasn't the best corner on the board. Christian Gonzalez was still there at 16, and yet they took Emmanuel Forbes. What do you think about that?
You know what? I feel like he definitely should not have been the second corner off the board. Definitely, but he definitely should not have gone that early, like I said. But with like 14 or 16 picks in his college career, that's not bad. But they should have definitely gone with Christian Gonzalez or Deontay Banks.
Just to point out, the next pick at 17, New England ended up going with Christian Gonzalez. I told you, Detroit, that was not going to be their first time on this list. Pick 18, it's Detroit again. I just want to tell you about the linebackers this year. Even though most edge rushers are listed as linebackers, they're they're listed as edges. I'm talking middle linebackers here. They were all listed as the best ones, mid-second round projections. They were all listed as mid-second round projections. I'm pretty sure the best one was Drew Sanders, was projected to be the 42nd best player in this draft, okay? Don't get me wrong, they're not bad players. The guy that Detroit picked, not a bad player. He could be a game changer, but I feel like this guy could have been there mid-second round for Detroit. The guy is Jack Campbell, linebacker, Iowa. Don't get me wrong, he is a game wrecker, but at 18, no. This was them just reaching for this one. They could have gotten a mid-second round here. Really not a good pick. What do you think about it?
Again, they could have got Kalaji Kancey, but then they passed over him and got Jack Campbell instead. So I don't know what they were.
Like I said, I said this at 12. They could have gotten Nolan Smith. They still could have gotten Nolan Smith at 18, but they went for a linebacker.
Yeah, I don't know. They lied again.
So that is all for the surprising picks. I think it's time to go to our surprise people that fell in this draft. There was a lot of surprises that fell in this draft. I think the first one, I think we can all agree on, Christian Gonzalez. Projected top 10 guy. Fell all the way down to pick 17 to New England. And he's a good corner.
Yeah, he definitely is. People could have argued he is the best corner in this draft. I think the best corner was Devin Witherspoon, but people could definitely agree that Christian Gonzalez was the best corner in the draft. So I was definitely surprised when he fell all the way to the Patriots.
Just to put it on my board, I did have him as the best corner in this draft class. I had it as Gonzalez and then Devon Witherspoon. Next person, well, it's not even next person. The whole wide receiver class dropped down pretty low, especially this name. Pick number 20, Jackson Smith-Njigba. I did not really expect the whole wide receiver class to drop off this low. I mean, it's Smith-Njigba. Johnston fell down pretty low. Addison and Zay Flowers, I think, were in the area where we expected. Even looking those other wide receivers, Cedric Tillman, Jalen Hyatt, they all went in the third round. I thought they would go second round. I know you know, those are some guys I wanted.
Yeah, I definitely knew you wanted some of those guys, but Jackson Smith-Njigba, I thought he was gonna fall to either the Titans or the Texans, but I did not know.
I think we all expected that.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna fall to the Texans, but I did not know he was gonna fall that low. And then a few picks after that, Jordan Addison went. So,
well, just to point out in this wide receiver class, they started falling down, but when Seattle decided to take Smith-Njigba, it went wide receiver. But Seattle at 20 picked Smith-Njigba. 21, Chargers selected Quentin Johnston. 22, Baltimore selected Zay Flowers. 23, Minnesota selected Jordan Addison. Well, I want to say this guy was picked at 32, but actually, I forgot about this guy. This guy was picked at pick 30. Was supposed to be a top 10, maybe top 15 guy. Nolan Smith, edge out of Georgia, went to the Philadelphia Bulldogs. That guy fell really low.
Oh yeah. Nolan Smith. I thought he was gonna I don't know how he fell that low. I thought the Eagles could have gotten him at number 10, but then I think the Eagles wanted to trade up. I don't know why the Eagles traded up. I don't know why they wanted.
Well, they wanted to get Jalen Carter.
Yeah, but the Bears definitely were not going to get Jalen Carter. They needed protection for Justin Fields. I mean, I guess the Bears could have gotten Jalen Carter, but yeah, I mean, the Eagles are about to win the SEC, so
yeah, they're about to win the SEC. They're gonna beat the Los Angeles Horned Frogs. It's gonna be a battle of the United States. In the Big 12, you got the Los Angeles Horned Frogs, and then in the SEC, you got the Philadelphia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And
Philadelphia
don't forget in the Big 12, we got the Kansas City Sooners because we love those Oklahoma guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, next up, pick 32, another surprising pick here, Joey Porter Jr., one of the top corners in this draft, picked it out of the first round. I think we were all surprised about that one, going to the Steelers.
yeah, I thought he was gonna go to the Steelers in the first round, maybe. But I guess they drafted Broderick Jones, and I don't know. It took like a really hard time for the Steelers to pick. They were choosing between Broderick Jones and Joey Porter Jr. I think, and then I think they just went with the biggest need at offensive tackle.
Yeah.
And then I don't think they expected Joey Porter Jr. to fall to them in the second round. So then they obviously picked him. So he was definitely not supposed to fall that low.
I know in the second round there was rumors that spreading around that the Steelers were taking phone calls for pick 32 for our next guy that fell down a lot, Will Levis. This guy, there was projections that he may go 2 in this draft at Houston. Will Levis. He wasn't. What was the thing you were telling me about the percentages that he would drop out of the first round? Wasn't it like 0.01%?
Yeah, it was 0.1% that he would drop to pick number 20. 0.1% that he'll drop to pick number 20.
Yeah.
So
So I guess if anybody out in the betting world and you betted on that, I know you want a lot of money out there.
yeah, people must be drowning in money.
I mean, I know I have my own feelings about Will Levis. I think he'll be a bust, but for the amount of talent he had, there is no reason why he should have dropped that far to where the Tennessee Titans traded up to get Will Levis in round number 2.
Yeah, no, and I was actually happy when the Titans drafted him because I know he was going to be a bust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
we don't know it for sure, but I think there's a big possibility he will be.
Yeah. I just don't think that mayonnaise with coffee will be good enough, and him eating banana peels will be good enough for him to be that good. So, and also,
I know there's a funny tweet put out there by Bleacher Report. The only reason why he fell down out of the first round is that mayo in his coffee.
yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Like I'm not.
Got a couple more people on the list. Another quarterback. This guy fell down into the third round. Hendon Hooker. And he went to an unexpected team, the Detroit Lions. I know he had that torn ACL that he had against South Carolina, but he is a very good talent. And I feel like he might be the best quarterback out of this draft class.
Yeah, and I actually have really high hopes for him. Like, obviously, Jared Goff will probably retire within the next few years. I would assume. Maybe that's just
He
me.
is at their age already.
Yeah, so I would definitely see him retiring. Jared Goff. So Hendon Hooker, even if he does not win the starting job, which I would assume he doesn't, but he'll be the next Detroit Lions quarterback within the next couple years. So
yeah,
I'm excited for him.
Next up, we have both Tennessee wide receivers, Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman, both getting selected in the third round. I was surprised that they fell this low. I know whenever the Chiefs traded up in the second round, I was thinking like, it better be Tillman, better be Tillman, better be Tillman, better be Tillman. Even though we went for Rashee Rice, I think we were all surprised Hyatt and Tillman fell that far.
Yeah, I know you want to use some Cedric Tillman, but and also
I also wanted Jonathan Mingo.
yeah. Are we gonna talk about Zach Cousin here?
We will a little bit later on. He's on this list as well.
I knew it. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. Jalen Hyatt, I think, just because of this season, I think he was projected to go higher. He did to the Giants, but yeah, so I think Jalen Hyatt won't have the best career just because he has Daniel Jones at QB, but
Yeah.
I think Cedric Tillman. Um, wait, I forgot what team drafted Cedric Tillman.
Oh, I don't even remember actually.
Wait, let me search it up. The Browns.
Browns.
The
Okay.
Yeah, so I think with Deshaun Watson, without him touching women, I think he's a pretty good QB. Uh, I know he likes balls, AOA balls.
I will say the Cleveland Browns did get a lot scarier with Tillman. They already have Amari Cooper. They have Jonathan
Jonathan,
People Jones, and
yeah,
now they have Cedric Tillman.
yeah. A good pick by them, I think. I think uh, you were pretty high on him just because of how much you wanted him. but
He's a very tall X receiver.
yeah, I know you would have freaked out when you got him. I know,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I guess from your
Next person
reaction,
on this list. Next person on this list, Darius Rush. I know you wanted him. I know you wanted him. So and he fell down pretty low. Tell me why you wanted him.
I wanted him because first of all, a corner, but also because he plays with South Carolina, and I'm a Gator fan. So I actually like. I remember one time where Kyle Trask was running to the pocket. He threw it up, and the Darius Rush made like this one-handed pick on him, which couldn't be made. And also, like, it seems like every year I always see like a couple highlights of him just making these catches. And when I saw him still on the board, I was like, "Oh my god! If we get him, that would be amazing." But then we got Antonio Johnson, and I was like, "Yeah, okay." Now I'm not so mad that we passed up on Darius Rush.
Well, but I was going to put him next. Antonio Johnson was my next person on this board. Didn't think he was going to fall down as low as he did, but you guys got a sleeper pick right there.
Yeah, and as we're about to talk about our picks, I think he's the best safety in college football. I mean, I don't think there's anything. I think he was the best safety in college football. But
Okay. And then our final person on the surprise people that fell off. I do get it here. Andrew Voorhees went 7th round. The Ravens actually traded back into the draft to get him in the 7th round. I think we could all agree he was one of the best tackles in this draft. The only reason why he fell this low was he tore his ACL at the combine. But the shocking part about it is he still won the lift weight. He still won the bench press with a torn ACL. That's pretty impressive.
yeah, that is very impressive. Um, I'm just so like he I think was one of the best graded things as a tackle. So he's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get into our final segment into this episode. We're going to review our first round picks here. Not just first round, but all of our picks for each of our teams. So I'm going to let you start off with your guys' first round pick. I think something wrong with your mic.
My bad, that one. So my first round pick, we selected at 27 was Anton Harrison. We traded back 2 spots with the Giants to move back 1, then with the Bills to move back twice. And this pick, when when I was watching this guy's film, oh my god, bro, he was going against some of the best rushers. Will Anderson in the semifinal game against
Bama.
against Will Anderson. Yeah. Anton Harrison was like he couldn't like it was like insane what he was doing. Like when I was I just can't describe it. Like he on especially runs, he always like you did never see him let up anyone past him. Like I saw this film that every single offensive tackle for Oklahoma was chasing the guy that went past him already. But then everyone was off the line except for Anton Harrison, and his guy was still battling at the line. And this guy he has the best hands. He can trick like the best of like he has very good hands. He can trick like the best of pass rushers in college football, and
Yeah.
I'm surprised he even fell that low. I mean, he was projected to go like only second round, but I was surprised that he even fell that low. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, with the Kansas City Chiefs, we stayed down at 31, didn't trade up, didn't trade down, and selected the hometown kid in Felix Anudike Uzama, edge rusher out of Kansas State. Went to Kansas State, born in Kansas City, went to Blue Springs High School in Kansas City. He did play out of position at Kansas State, but they do have a weird defense. It's a normal Big 12 defense, though. They played a 3-3-5 defense at Kansas State. He he does play the run really good. He is a little undersized, but he was the best at all the undersized players. He is not related to, but he plays just like Melvin Ingram. He has very long arms, but has a big motor and has really good upside in pass rushes. Let's go ahead and move on to the second round. The Kansas City Chiefs in the second round selected Rashee Rice, wide receiver out of SMU. Really good player. He's even Rashee Rice himself tries to say he plays like DeAndre Hopkins. He has very good upside, but there is some problems. Had 21 drops the last 2 years, but he does fit on Brett Veach Key with the small schools. Obviously, Tyreek Hill went to South Alabama. Sky Moore went to Central Michigan. Rashee Rice went to SMU. He was handpicked by Pat Mahomes, but obviously, I will point out last time he did do this was with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and obviously we know how that worked out. But we'll just see if he got it right this time. Like I said, has great upside. He could get to a DeAndre Hopkins level, but he is a lot faster than D-Hop. He did lead the draft class with the most 20-plus yard targets with 37, which ranked 5th in the nation. He caught 18 of them, which led the nation for 566 yards. He did draw 2 defensive pass interferences, and he also led the league with 13 defensive pass interferences in college football. Let's get to your second round pick. You still there? Trev, are you there? There we go.
My bad.
Okay.
So
let's go ahead and get to your second round pick.
Yeah, so my second round pick was Brendan Strange. Like when your second round pick was handpicked by someone, Patrick Mahomes, Brendan Strange was handpicked by our head coach, Doug Peterson, because he likes working with 2 tight ends on the field. And when I was watching his tape / film, he's so clutch on like 3rd and 6, like he is very good, like I said before, on 3rd and 6s, 3rd and 9s. Like every single of like his big plays were on like 3rd and 9s and 3rd and 6s, and he had around 300 yards this past season and around 5 maybe not around there, but a little bit around 5 touchdowns. So he like even the announcers were talking about like how good this tight end is, and they're like, oh, and there he is with a big catch again against one of the best defenses in Georgia. He was going he he was a good pickup for the Jags, definitely. Out of he can be amazing at blocking on runs, and he is amazing at catching for pass tight end catchers.
Okay. By the way, I forgot to point out we did trade up for Rashee Rice. Just forgot to point that out. What about your third round picks?
Okay.
Oh, he's gone again. He's gone again.
No, I'm back. All right.
Okay.
My third round pick was Tank Bigsby, and holy moly, bro! I enjoy watching this film. I spent 50 minutes watching this guy's film. And oh my god, bro. Against one of the best defenses, take Alabama, he oh my god, bro. It takes several men to bring him down. And he was in a situation one time where he was at like 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
And he just fights his way back to at least gain to the line of scrimmage, and he is an absolute tank. Like he is a real life tank. I no wonder his name is Tank, but like on like third and goals and fourth and goals from like the 1 yard line, you are not tackling him. You are definitely not tackling him on the 1 yard line on first and goal. Like at the 1 yard line, you're definitely not tackling him. Like you are definitely like just hand, hand off the ball to him, and he's gone. He is.
Yeah.
If he just runs straight down the middle, he is getting at least more than 5 yards. And if you run around the outside, he had horrible blockers last year. I will say that he had horrible blockers last year. When he ran to the outside, 3 men were already there to get him. Like he had horrible blockers last year, at least around like the outside. Maybe because I was watching most film of of watching Alabama, Will Anderson.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he is just a tank, an actual real on steroids.
Okay, so our third round selection, we also traded up again to get this guy. We selected Wanya Morris, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Want to point out first, our GM, Brett Veach, he really does like the Oklahoma guys. He's a very good scheme fit as well. He has very long arms, a very good size for a right tackle. Obviously, Andrew Wiley did leave. Going to be in competition for the right tackle spot, as also we did draft Darian Kennard last year with our fifth round pick. And we still do have Lucas Niang, which Brett Veach and Andy Reid still do like. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to our fourth round picks, and then we'll do our 5th through 7th tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. So we're gonna stop at our 4th round today. Our 4th round pick, we actually traded up again. We traded up again for this guy. We traded up with the Vikings for him. We got Chamari Rice, corner out of Virginia Tech. This is crazy here, top 10 in Virginia Tech history in tackles, a very great blitzer. He did play some linebacker as well, so he's very versatile. He played the whip linebacker position. He does like to stick his nose into the play, and he is very physical. A very good pick here. But I think after picking Chamari Rice, I think we obviously know the Chiefs might be getting rid of L'Jarius Sneed after the season. What about your guys? Oh, he's not. He's. Oh, there we go. What about your 4th round pick to end out the show? Where'd he go? I think he's getting the. I think he's getting his 4th round pick paper here. Well, while he's getting ready, we'll have our next episode tomorrow. We'll have our 5th through 7th round picks tomorrow. So yeah, Trev, get your last pick. Get your last pick and 4th round pick.
I can't really do that. But Ventrell Miller out of Florida, he
really like this guy. I really like this guy.
Oh my god, bro! Like, okay, I'm actually tomorrow. Like, the next episode. I'm actually gonna say I might like rewind back to like do like a quick like 3-minute preview of like what my picks were like. But like anyway, oh my god, this guy is fast.
He's a freakish athlete. He's a freak athlete.
He's a freakish athlete. He is fast when he blitzes the QB. If the QB has the ball in his hand for 3 seconds, he's going down by Ventrell Miller. When Ventrell Miller finds a hole, he is taking that hole and running. He is fast. He's big. He is amazing at tackling. He can get picks. He can go in the coverage. He's a freakish athlete. Like I can't even have words to explain him. Like, oh my god, like
he's good. He's good.
He is really good. He can bust through anyone. I saw this play of him getting triple covered just because like the Virginia offensive line just can't stop him.
Yeah.
He was busting through them and just getting sacks down. The QB was so scared that like he told Ventrell Miller to like calm it down. He was speaking to him like, chill out, man, chill out. I don't want to die today. Like,
yeah.
Bro, like, I'm so happy with this pick. Yeah.
It sounds like you are.
We also have another pick in the 4th round. Am I able to do that real quick?
Yeah, just real quick. Do it real quick, because we're almost out of time.
Oh, yeah. So, we actually had 127, which we traded away to get back. But then we had 130, Tyler Lacey. He is big, fast. He can get through any offensive lineman. And in the 4th round, we really focused on rushing the QB, which we definitely did. And, like, when we blitz and Tyler Lacey and Ventrell Miller are both on that blitz, it's going to be really hard for the QB to make any type of yardage on that play.
Yeah. Well, I thank you, Trev, for joining me today. Both of us will be back on tomorrow for the Tuesday show. We'll go through rounds 5 through 7. And we'll get to some trades also that happened on draft days, as there was a couple that also went down. And then Wednesday, we'll have our interview with the NASCAR driver Braden Lassner. And then we have a special interview that may be coming up. A player that got drafted. Well, he didn't get drafted, but he was a UDFA hometown kid from where I am at right now. He's gonna be a special guest here coming up on the channel very soon. Don't want to get. That's all I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not giving out any more details. It's a surprise. I think the only person that really knows about it is Trev in my Discord server. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for episode number 7. See you guys.
Bye.